Have you ever been, maybe in a business meeting or just reading an email from work and you see a phrase like, I'd love to pick your brains. And for a second you might think, wait, what? Am I some kind of Frankenstein monster? What are they asking me?
Right. It can sound a bit odd.
Or someone asks, do you have a minute to hop on a call? And if you're not used to these, well, these expressions can feel confusing, maybe even a bit intimidating.
Definitely.
Okay, so let's unpack this a bit. The world of business English, it really has its own language, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. It's like a unique dialect.
Yeah, full of these common expressions and acronyms, and they often just don't translate literally at all. And when you hear one you don't know, it's totally normal to feel, well, maybe less confident, a little embarrassed even.
Or just confused about what's expected.
Exactly. So our goal today in this deep dive is to kind of clear all that up. We're taking a really deep dive into essential business English phrases and acronyms. And our mission really for you is to give you the tools, the knowledge you need so you can say what you mean accurately.
Understand what people are saying back to you.
Right. And just generally feel more confident, less awkward in any kind of English-speaking professional setting.
Yeah, think of it like a shortcut, a way to sound really informed, integrated, like you belong.
Totally. Getting you on top of your game.
And it's interesting, isn't it? Because these things that seem quite small, linguistically, just a phrase here, an acronym there, they're actually really powerful tools.
How so?
Well, it's not just knowing the words. It's understanding the nuances behind them. The level of politeness or maybe the urgency.
An elaborative feel they might be going for.
Exactly, all those subtleties. And getting that right, it can seriously impact your interactions, how people see you professionally. It's pretty fundamental stuff.
Okay, so to make this super practical, really useful right away, we've gone through and picked out, 20 essential phrases.
20 core phrases, yeah, plus 5 really crucial acronyms, the ones you're almost certain to bump into at work.
And emails, meetings, just office chat.
Everywhere.
Get ready for some of those aha moments, hopefully. Because by the end of this, you should feel way more comfortable navigating these conversations. Let's jump in.
Yeah.
All right, let's start with how we actually talk to each other at work, how we collaborate, ask for things, get input. And the first one is just a classic, a master class in being polite. When you have a minute, or the slightly more direct, do you have a minute?
You hear these all the time.
All the time. And it's not just asking, are you free right now? There's more to it, right?
Oh, absolutely. It's a beautiful example of indirectness, which in professional English often signals politeness, respect for the other person's time.
How does it shift the power dynamic, as you mentioned earlier?
Well, think about it. When you say, when you have a minute, you're acknowledging they're probably busy. You're respecting their workflow.
You're giving them control over when they respond.
Exactly. You're not demanding their attention now.
Yeah.
Compare that to just, barging in and saying, look at this.
Right. It's much less disruptive.
Way less. An email saying, when you have a minute, could you look at this report? It builds rapport. It avoids interrupting them.
And even the do you have a minute version, though more direct.
It's still framed as a question about their availability, not a command. It still gives them that control, that out if they're swamped. It's considerate.
That idea of giving control is really key, I think. Especially when everyone's juggling so much. It sets a really positive tone. Okay, building on that collaborative spirit, the next one really captures that teamwork feel. Bounce ideas off of you.
Oh, yeah, I like this one.
The image is great, right? Like a bouncy ball, you throw an idea out, it comes back, maybe changed a bit.
Yeah, refined. Or maybe it sparks something totally new.
So what's the power in framing a request like that? Why not just say, give me feedback?
Because bounce ideas off signals something very specific. It's collaborative, yes, but also low pressure. You're asking for informal feedback, not some final judgment.
Ah, so it implies the ideas might not be fully formed yet.
Precisely. You're inviting more of a creative exchange, like using someone as a sounding board. It suggests you're open, you don't expect perfect answers right away.
That makes sense, especially early on in a project.
Definitely. Like in the initial stages or when you're brainstorming or just trying to figure out a problem, it creates a safer space psychologically.
So people might share bolder ideas.
Exactly. Ideas that might not come out in a more formal review, like, I'm kind of stuck on this new marketing angle. Mind if I bounce some ideas off you?
And you mentioned you can drop the of?
Yeah, sometimes you'll hear bounce some ideas off you, a little more informal, but same meaning. It's really an invitation to just explore together. No pressure.
Love that. Okay, next phrase. This one always makes me pause for a second because it sounds, well, a bit graphic if you take it literally. Pick your brains.
Huh. Yeah, it does sound a little invasive.
Right. Are you planning some kind of operation? But in business, it actually means something very respectful, doesn't it?
It really does. It's a curious idiom, for sure, but it's brilliant. Picking someone's brains is a direct but very respectful way to ask for expert input.
So you're acknowledging they know more than you.
Exactly. You're recognizing their experience, their specific knowledge, their unique viewpoint, and you're respectfully asking for their advice or insights based on that expertise.
So it's kind of flattering in a way.
It absolutely can be. You're essentially saying, your knowledge is so valuable, I want to learn from you. It's great for mentorship situations or tapping into that institutional knowledge.
Like asking someone who's been at the company a long time.
Perfect example. Instead of just, how does this place work? You could say, I know you've been here 10 years. I'd love to pick your brains about the company culture. It shows deference, appreciation.
Makes the person feel valued.
Totally. Or, could we maybe hop on a call so I can pick your brains about the Q3 strategy?
Yeah.
It signals you really value their specific thinking on that topic.
And speaking of hopping on calls.
Yeah.
Perfect segue. Our next phrase, hop on a call.
Ubiquitous.
Totally everywhere now,
Yeah.
right? It's the standard way to suggest a quick, unplanned chat. Could be phone, could be Zoom, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
What does that phrase imply about the conversation itself? Is it different from scheduling a meeting?
Yeah, it usually implies something quicker, more agile, more immediate than a formal meeting. It suggests that typing back and forth in emails is maybe too slow or getting complicated.
Right, when you need that real-time clarification.
Exactly. Think about urgent issues or explaining something complex where you need immediate back and forth. It signals you want direct, real-time interaction to cut through delays or misunderstandings.
Like, hey, do you have a minute to hop on a call? The client has some questions.
Perfect. Or if an email chain is just going in circles, you know what? It might be easier to just talk this through. Can we hop on a call for 5 minutes? It's about speed and clarity.
Got it. Quick, agile, real time. Cuts through the noise. Okay, final one in this section about collaborating, a real classic fundamental for generating ideas. Brainstorm.
The brainstorm session.
The classic. It's universally understood for that group idea generation thing. When a team says they're going to brainstorm, what's the main principle they should be following?
The absolute core principle, the thing that makes brainstorming work, is getting all the ideas out there, putting everything on the table initially without judgment.
So quantity over quality at first.
Exactly. You're aiming for volume.
Yeah.
It's about creating a safe, judgment-free zone where people feel comfortable throwing out initial thoughts, no matter how wild or simple they might seem.
Why is that important?
Because it encourages participation from everyone. It helps generate a really wide, diverse pool of options before you start narrowing things down or criticizing. It's the launch pad.
Prevents good ideas from getting shot down too early.
Precisely. You'll often hear it used like in the source example. Okay, team, tomorrow morning we're going to brainstorm ideas for the new campaign. It's about opening the floodgates first and saving the evaluation for later.
Okay, moving on from collaboration, let's talk about managing our work. Tasks, deadlines, making sure information gets to the right people efficiently.
Yeah, the nuts and bolts of getting things done.
Exactly. So first phrase here is simple, but really useful for setting expectations about timing. First thing in the morning. And a little language note, I've noticed sometimes people say first thing in the morning, but usually it's just first thing, right? Like, I'll do it first thing.
Yeah, often just first thing or first thing tomorrow morning. The core idea is the professional impact it has. It's a strong commitment. When you say you'll do something first thing in the morning, you're giving a very clear, pretty precise time frame. You're saying it's a high priority.
So it implies it'll be one of the very first tasks you tackle.
That's the implication, yes. It builds trust, shows reliability. If your manager asks for something and you say, can't do it now, but I'll get it to you first thing in the morning, they know it's on your immediate radar for the next day.
Like the example. Sorry, can't finish the report today, but I'll do it first thing.
Perfect. It's a clear promise. It means at the very start of the next business day, without needing to commit to, 8:01 a.m. exactly, it manages expectations well.
Yeah, that clarity is great when you can't deliver instantly. Okay, next, for quick messages, we've got this pair. Shoot off an email or fire off an email.
The speedy ones.
They really sound fast, don't they? Like a quick action. What kind of message does using these send?
They absolutely signal speed and brevity. It's interesting how those verbs, shoot and fire, convey that sense of urgency, that efficiency.
So it's not for a long, carefully written email.
Generally not. It's more about getting essential info out quickly, maybe something time-sensitive. In today's world with email overload, it signals you're taking quick action, focusing on the key message.
Like, I'm just going to shoot off an email with those questions before the client call.
Exactly. Or you could combine it, just shoot me an email with the details and I'll look at it first thing. It suggests a proactive, no-nonsense approach, a quick, necessary message.
Got it. Efficient and direct. Okay, now, keeping people informed. This phrase is absolutely vital for transparency. Keep someone in the loop.
Essential for teamwork.
I always picture that continuous circle of information. Nobody's left outside. Why is this so important?
Oh, it's fundamental. Keeping people in the loop means making sure all the relevant people know what's going on, updates, progress, issues.
Prevents confusion.
Totally. It stops miscommunication, stops people duplicating work, lets everyone make informed decisions. It builds that sense of inclusion, shared ownership.
Without it, people feel isolated, maybe make bad calls because they didn't have the info.
Exactly. Like, hey, I missed the meeting. Could you keep me in the loop? Just forward the notes.
Or from the top down, the boss wants you to keep her in the loop on this project.
Right. It's about creating that shared understanding, making sure everyone has the context they need.
Makes sense. Okay, after a big project or event, there's this crucial step that's more than just a summary. Debrief. And this can be a noun, let's have a debrief, or a verb, we need a debrief. Why is it more than just a recap?
Because it's really about learning. A debrief is a structured process for reflection. It's how organizations learn from experience and actually improve.
So, analyzing what happened.
Yes, systematically. What went well? Why? What didn't go well? What did we learn from the challenges? And crucially, what specific things can we do differently next time?
Turning experience into actionable insights.
Exactly. That's why it's a cornerstone of good project management, of continuous improvement. It stops teams from repeating mistakes.
Like the examples. After the project, let's have a meeting to debrief. Or, we had a debrief and decided to change our process.
Right. It links the learning directly to future action. Very powerful.
Okay, final phrase in this section. Focusing on making things better, more efficient. Streamline.
Ah, the quest for efficiency.
Right. It's about moving away from complicated or messy processes towards something smooth, organized, effective. Optimization.
Exactly. And what's key here is that streamlining isn't just about saving time, although it usually does that. It's fundamentally about optimizing how you use resources.
Reducing costs. Improving productivity.
All of the above. Think about a chaotic workflow, emails everywhere, multiple sign-offs, manual steps. Streamlining gets rid of the unnecessary stuff, maybe automates parts, clarifies the steps,
Makes it easier for everyone.
and often leads to real savings and happier employees too. Like, if we streamline this onboarding process, we'll cut costs and get new hires up to speed faster.
Or the other example, the company streamlined by reducing management layers.
Yeah, making things leaner, more direct. It's about purposeful, strategic optimization for better results with less friction.
All right, let's shift gears a bit. Now we're looking at phrases tied more to strategic thinking and managing big projects,
Yeah.
especially when you need everyone pulling together.
High-level stuff, yeah. Big picture.
And kicking us off is one with a great backstory. All hands on deck. It comes from sailing ships, right?
It does. Literally meant every sailor needed to be on the deck, usually for an emergency or a critical maneuver.
So how does that translate to the office?
Pretty directly, actually. In business, all hands on deck signals a critical situation or a high-priority task where everyone's contribution is needed. Urgently.
Like, drop what you're doing. This is the focus now.
Often, yeah. It implies urgency, high stakes. Normal work might need to pause or shift, so everyone...
So examples like, we need all hands on deck to hit this client deadline.
Perfect. Or, the CEO's called an all-hands meeting for Thursday. It means unity, maximum effort, focus.
Got it. A powerful call to action. Okay, next, a word that's absolutely crucial for making sure everyone's on the same page. Align. And just a quick pronunciation reminder that G is silent. A-L-I-G-N. It means being in agreement, supporting the same goal. Why is this so fundamental?
Oh, alignment is everything, really. Connecting it to the bigger picture, it's foundational for strategy, for teamwork, for partnerships.
If things aren't aligned.
You get chaos, wasted effort. Imagine a project that doesn't align with the company's main goals. It's probably going to get canceled, right? because it's pulling in the wrong direction.
Makes sense.
And companies actively try to align with others, partners, allies who share similar goals. It creates synergy. It's about making sure all the pieces are moving together purposefully.
Like the example, that project doesn't align with our goals, so we're not doing it.
Exactly. Or our company aligns itself with organizations focused on sustainability. It provides direction, ensures consistency.
Very important. Okay, now for businesses that want to grow, maybe grow fast, this next word is key: scalable.
Hugely important, especially today.
It describes something, an idea, a business that can grow bigger, handle more volume, increase profits, without the costs or effort increasing at the same rate.
Right.
Leveraging growth.
That's the core idea. And the crucial question it raises is, how does scalability affect long-term potential? Why are investors obsessed with it?
Because it means potentially huge returns.
Exactly. A scalable business can reach a much bigger market, maybe globally, without its costs exploding. The underlying system can handle way more demand.
The source had a great example with teaching.
Yeah, the classroom versus YouTube. Teaching 30 people in a room, not very scalable, but an online course. You can reach millions with roughly the same initial effort.
That really clarifies it. Exponential growth potential versus linear.
Precisely. This startup is small now, but the model is highly scalable. That's music to an investor's ears.
I bet. Okay, now, something we can probably all relate to in meetings or complex projects.
Yeah.
Getting in the weeds or being lost in the weeds.
Oh, yes. The danger zone.
It means getting so bogged down in tiny details that you lose track of the main point, the overall goal. Like you can't see the forest for the trees, or rather, the weeds.
It's such a perfect metaphor. And it's a common trap, isn't it? While detail is good, getting lost in it, that leads to delays, bad decisions, missing the whole point.
So how do you handle it when a discussion goes there?
You need strategies to refocus. Gently but firmly, pull things back to the core objectives. Remind everyone what the main goal is.
Like, okay, team, interesting point, but let's not get lost in the weeds here. We need to focus on the main client deliverable.
Exactly. It's a polite way to redirect, keep things on track, and stop time being wasted on things that ultimately might not matter that much for the big picture.
Good skill to have. And speaking of keeping discussions on track, when things do veer off, or you need to manage the agenda, this next phrase is super useful. Circle back.
A meeting facilitator's best friend.
Right. It means let's return to this topic or question later. We acknowledge it's important, but we'll deal with it at a better time. How does it help keep focus?
It's incredibly effective. It's a polite, professional way to manage the agenda. You validate the point someone raised, showing respect, but you defer the deep dive to keep the current discussion moving.
Prevents tangents from derailing everything.
Exactly, and it ensures the idea isn't just forgotten. You can also use it to gently remind someone about something unresolved. Just wanted to circle back to my question from last week.
We're in a meeting. Great point, Sarah. Can we circle back to that after we finish this agenda item?
Perfect. It maintains control politely.
Okay, very similar, but maybe slightly different. Put a pin in it? What does this mean? I always imagine sticking a pin in a note on a corkboard.
That's a great way to think about it. It's basically a mental placeholder, a reminder to return to an idea or topic later.
So how is it different from circle back? Is there a nuance?
There's a subtle one, yeah. Often, put a pin in it is used more for deferring a specific idea or suggestion that's just popped up. Like, that's a great idea, let's put a pin in it for now. It acknowledges the value, but parks it.
Whereas circle back might be for a broader topic or a discussion that's already started.
Generally, yes. Circle back often implies returning to an ongoing thread or a planned item, while put a pin in it is more like capturing a new spark to examine later. Both manage flow, but pin feels more about capturing a single concept.
Like, good thought on the new software. Let's put a pin in it and discuss it at the strategy meeting next week.
Exactly. It cues up the idea without disrupting the current flow.
All right, let's switch focus again. Now, to some really common expressions we use to talk about, well, feelings at work or the kinds of people we work with.
The human side of things.
Totally. And first up, something probably everyone listening has felt. Having a case of the Mondays. Or just sighing Mondays. Am I right?
Huh. The universal Monday morning feeling.
It's that lack of motivation, maybe feeling a bit grumpy after the weekend. We've all been there.
We really have. And what's interesting is how it functions socially. It's a safe, lighthearted way to express that minor frustration without actually complaining about your job or colleagues.
It's relatable.
Very. It taps into that shared cultural thing, the end of weekend sigh. It actually builds a little camaraderie.
Like, ugh, I cannot get started today.
Yeah.
Definitely got a case of the Mondays.
Right. Or if the coffee machine breaks. Typical Mondays, am I right? It's a shared groan, often humorous.
Yeah, it definitely softens the edges. Okay, now for the complete opposite end of the work ethic spectrum. A really negative term you never want applied to you. A slacker.
Yeah, that's a harsh one.
It means someone lazy, avoids work, lets others do the heavy lifting. What's the actual impact when someone gets this reputation?
The impact is huge and overwhelmingly negative for the team. It's not just mild criticism, it carries real frustration because a slacker undermines the whole team's effort.
They create more work for others.
Absolutely. It messes up workload balance, breeds resentment, hurts morale, and can even risk project failure. It signals a total lack of accountability.
The examples really hit home. He's such a slacker, always late with his part.
Or the classic group project scenario. There's always one slacker who expects everyone else to do the work.
It highlights that unfair burden. Definitely a label to avoid.
Seriously. Okay, much more positive now. The polar opposite of a slacker. A workhorse.
Ah, the heroes of the office.
Yeah, someone super hardworking, diligent, reliable, gets stuff done, often goes the extra mile. What kind of reputation does this earn you?
It earns you immense respect. Workhorse has really strong positive connotations. It highlights dedication, reliability, consistent effort, all highly valued.
These are people you can count on. Always. They often do the essential, maybe less glamorous tasks without fuss. They just deliver. And connecting that to careers, being seen as a workhorse often leads to recognition, promotions. They're valued.
Like he's a real workhorse for this team. Always gets it done.
Or she totally deserves that promotion. She's been a workhorse for years. It shows deep appreciation for sustained quality work.
You definitely want to be the workhorse.
Okay.
Okay, last one in this section describes a management style that drives people crazy. Micromanage.
The dreaded micromanagement.
Yeah, when a boss controls every tiny little detail of what you do, how you do it. Often kills autonomy, right?
Absolutely. And the consequences are pretty severe. It really raises the question, what does that constant oversight do to trust, creativity, independence?
It stifles them.
Completely. Employees feel distrusted, undervalued. Their ability to take initiative or solve problems gets crushed. It creates dependency, not empowerment. Often it's more about the manager's insecurity than the employee's ability.
The examples are so relatable. He tries to micromanage by telling everyone exactly how to do their job.
Or that plea, no one likes to be micromanaged. Can't you just trust me? It really shows a breakdown in effective leadership and trust. Can definitely push good people away.
Okay, let's tackle those acronyms. They're like little codes, aren't they? But once you know them, they make communication, especially written communication, so much faster.
They really do. And they might seem like just shortcuts, but you really need to know them to navigate modern business comms. Misunderstanding them can cause real problems.
For sure. First one, EOD stands for end of day.
Very common in writing.
Yeah, you mostly see it in emails, maybe project tracking tools. It's just a super concise way to set a deadline. How does it help efficiency?
Well, it's unambiguous usually. EOD means by the close of business on that day, saves typing, makes the deadline crystal clear instantly.
Like, need this report by EOD Wednesday?
Exactly. You know precisely when it's due. Very practical, very direct.
Clear and concise. Okay, next.
Ooh.
Stands for out of office.
The classic auto reply.
Right. The email bounce back you get when someone's on vacation or at a conference or just unavailable for a while. What's its practical function?
It's crucial for managing expectations. For the sender, you immediately know not to expect a quick reply, and it often tells you who else to contact or when the person is back.
Stops you chasing them or getting frustrated.
Exactly. And for the person who is VUDO, it gives them cover to actually disconnect without worrying about urgent things piling up unaddressed.
Like, sorry, I'll be until Feb 5th. Contact Jane for urgent matters.
Yep. Simple. Universally understood. Keeps things moving even when people are away.
Super helpful. Okay, number 3, ASAP, or as soon as possible. So what does this really mean? Signals big urgency, right? Used in writing and speaking.
Massive urgency. You can say it as the word ASAP or spell it out ASAP.
Given how strong it is, when should we actually use it?
That's the key question. Because it conveys such intense urgency, like drop everything, do this now, it loses its power if you overuse it.
The cry wolf effect.
Exactly. If everything is ASAP, then nothing is. It just stresses people out. So reserve it for truly critical situations where immediate action is genuinely needed.
Ask yourself,
Right.
is there a real negative consequence if this doesn't happen right now?
That's a great filter. If the answer is no, it's probably not ASA, use it wisely. Like, send those figures ASAP, the client's waiting. That feels justified.
Right, save its power. Okay, almost there. Next is FYI, for your information.
Quick heads up.
Yeah, a short way to add extra info, mostly in writing, but you hear it sometimes too. What's its main job?
Its main job is to share relevant info without necessarily needing a response or action. It's like saying, thought you should know this, or here's some background.
Keeps people informed without adding to their to-do list.
Exactly. It prevents future questions sometimes, mostly written like, FYI, the meeting time changed to 1:30. But yeah, sometimes spoken casually, oh, FYI, can't make the party. Efficient info sharing.
Got it. And finally, ending the week on a happy note. TGIF means, thank God goodness it's Friday.
The weekend cheer.
Totally. That feeling of relief, excitement for the weekend, what role does this play at work? Is it too informal?
Generally, it adds a nice human, informal touch, especially in team chats or quick sign-offs on a Friday. It builds camaraderie, acknowledges that shared relief.
Connects people over the coming weekend.
Yeah. While it is informal, it's so common and understood, it's usually fine in less formal internal comms. Like, great work this week, team. TGIF, have a good weekend. Humanizes things a bit. Hashtag tag outro.
Wow, okay, that was a lot. We've really covered some ground today. From those polite starters like when you have a minute to strategic terms like scalable, that difference between a slacker and a workhorse.
Big difference.
Huge. And then all those handy acronyms, EOD, OO, ASAP, FYI, TGIF. You listening should now have a really solid toolkit of essential business English. So what does this all really mean for you? Well, learning these isn't just about, adding words to your vocabulary list.
No, it's much more than that.
It's about fitting in smoothly into those professional chats, saying what you mean clearly, with confidence, and maybe just as importantly, picking up on those unspoken cues that really drive business communication.
Becoming a more effective communicator overall.
Exactly. More respected, more influential, really.
And that hits on the real value, I think. It's not just knowing the definition, it's knowing when to use these phrases, how to use them with the right tone in the right situation.
And that nuance is key.
It's everything. That's what takes your communication from just functional to being really effective. It helps you build stronger relationships, collaborate better, and just make a bigger impact, choosing the right words at the right time.
So a final thought for you, our listener, to chew on.
Yeah, this raises, I think, a really important question. In today's world, right? Workplaces are global. Teams are spread out across different cultures, different continents.
More connected than ever.
Exactly. So how does really understanding and skillfully using these subtle bits of language, these phrases, these acronyms, how does that not only boost your personal effectiveness, but also subtly shape the actual culture within your team, within your organization?
You mean like building more trust and collaboration just through careful language?
Precisely. Think about it. Could mastering these seemingly small linguistic details actually be a significant step towards becoming a more influential communicator on a global scale? Someone who navigates these complex professional worlds with real grace and precision, something to consider.
We're about to get into something that's, pretty much essential if you're working in any kind of modern professional setting. Something happened the other day that just perfectly sums up what we're diving into. I was talking to a new colleague, right? And they just casually said, hey, I'd love to pick your brains on some best practices. Do you have a minute to hop on a call? And my first thought, honestly, it was pure Frankenstein. Like mad scientists, labs. It painted this really quite weird picture. Pick my brains, I thought. I don't know, some kind of experiment. It sounds a bit odd when you stop to think about it, doesn't it? But that phrase, pick your brains, is actually a perfect way into this whole world of essential business English expressions. And look, these aren't just, catchy phrases. They're actually vital tools for clear, efficient, and really importantly, culturally spot-on communication in English-speaking workplaces. Doesn't matter if it's clients, colleagues, team meetings. Getting these right is key. So our mission today is pretty focused.
We're going deep. We want to help you not just figure out what other people mean, but also get your own points across clearly, confidently. Avoid those awkward moments or misunderstandings that can happen if you miss the cues. Okay, let's unpack this stuff.
Yeah, and that Frankenstein reaction you mentioned, it really hits the nail on the head for why this is so important. What's fascinating here is just how much cultural weight, how many unspoken rules these phrases carry. It goes way beyond the dictionary definition. It's not just about knowing more words. It's about cultural fluency, really, that makes a huge difference in how effective you are, how you're perceived. These aren't just slang. They're part of how trust gets built, how decisions get made, how info flows. So today, we'll walk through 20 really core business phrases, and then stick around because we've got 5 bonus acronyms you are absolutely going to run into. Let's get started.
All right, let's kick things off with, it's more than a phrase, it's almost a feeling, something I think pretty much everyone can relate to, especially after a nice weekend. It's kind of a 2-for-1, a case of the Mondays, or just Mondays? Am I right? Yeah. Now, be honest. Do you leave out of bed at 6 a.m. Monday morning just buzzing with excitement for the work week? Yeah, probably not, right? I mean, if you do, good for you. But for most of us, there's that little bit of drag, that slight lack of enthusiasm, maybe. It's a pretty universal feeling after a weekend off. So when someone says, "Oh, I've totally got a case of the Mondays," or they sigh and go, "Mondays, am I right?" They're using this lighthearted way to blame Monday for feeling unmotivated, maybe a bit grumpy, or even for stuff that's completely unrelated, like the printer jamming again. You might hear, I just can't get motivated for this spreadsheet. Definitely a case of the Mondays. Or if the Wi-Fi dies mid-presentation, someone might mutter, of course, Monday's right. It's obviously not Monday's fault the internet's down, but it's this funny shared complaint. Poor Monday gets blamed for everything.
It really does. And what's fascinating here, like you said, it builds camaraderie, but it also works on a deeper level. It's almost like a psychological release valve in the workplace. Wow. Think about it. Professional culture often expects us to be positive, can do. So Mondays becomes this sort of socially acceptable scapegoat. You can voice a minor shared frustration without sounding negative or complaining about your actual work. It's a way to bond. A little bit of we're all in this together, grumbling that doesn't really criticize anything specific. It acknowledges that shared feeling, that transition back to work, without making a big deal out of it. Kind of clever, really.
A psychological release valve. I like that. That's a great way to put it. Okay, moving on. Our next phrase is all about politeness, about respect, crucial stuff. It's when you have a minute, or the very similar, do you have a minute? This is just such a useful, gentle way to ask for someone's time or help. You're not interrupting them forcefully. You're not demanding their attention right now. It shows consideration. So you could say, when you have a minute, could you glance over this report before I send it? Or slightly more direct, do you have a minute to look at this client email? It's perfect for when you see a colleague is clearly focused, maybe they're really in the zone, but you need their input on something that isn't like code red urgent. You're basically saying, I see you're busy, respect that, but when you have a moment, could you help with this small thing?
And if we connect this to the bigger picture, it's more than just politeness. It's really fundamental to building good professional relationships. It shows you respect their time, their workload. It's an implicit acknowledgement that their focus is valuable. You're not demanding, you're requesting. And crucially, you're giving them control over when they respond. Contrast that with, just walking up and saying, look at this now. The difference in tone in the dynamic is huge. One's a command, the other's a collaboration. That collaborative feel is what you want in a healthy, productive team. It builds goodwill. It really does.
From command to collaborative query. Yeah, that sums it up perfectly. It signals cooperation. Okay, building on that collaborative idea, phrase number 3 is a fun one. Bounce ideas off of. I always picture like a bouncy ball. You have an idea, maybe just the start of one, you toss it to someone else, they catch it, maybe add a little spin, their own perspective, and bounce it back. And each time it bounces, the idea gets a bit better, a bit more refined. So bounce ideas off of you means you want to share a thought, maybe it's not fully formed yet, and get someone's reaction, their gut feeling, their initial take. The key is you're usually not looking for final answers or a big commitment at this stage. It's more about exploring, refining. You might say, hey, I'm wrestling with this marketing angle. Got 5 minutes later. I'd love to bounce some initial thoughts off of you. You're asking for their input, not a finished plan. Or maybe I've been thinking about the project kickoff, and before I write anything formal, can I bounce a few ideas off you, see if I'm heading the right way? And just a quick note, you'll often hear people drop the F. So bounce ideas off you. Both are totally fine, totally common.
And this raises such an important point about how work gets done now. It signals that you want constructive feedback, that you see value in co-creation, not just getting a rubber stamp on your own idea. It implies that ideas get better when people collaborate, when different perspectives come in early. It encourages sharing things that aren't perfect yet, which is really vital for innovation. You're inviting someone to be part of the shaping process. It taps into that collective intelligence, helps spot problems early, avoids going too far down a path that maybe isn't the best one. It's a smart, proactive way to develop ideas.
Absolutely. Co-creation, collective intelligence is much more than just a quick chat. Okay, number 4. This one's about timing, about commitment, first thing in the morning. Now, linguistically, notice there's no "the" here. It's first thing in morning. Small detail, but it's the fixed phrase, a common slip-up for learners. And the meaning is super clear. It means right away, at the very start of the next workday. No delay. It's a promise of prompt action. Like personally, first thing in the morning, I always make coffee. Professionally, you might say, sorry, I didn't quite finish the report today, but I'll do it first thing in the morning. It's not just sometime tomorrow. It's specific. It sets a clear expectation. Everyone knows when that task is hitting the top of the list.
And what's fascinating, host, is how much commitment is packed into that simple phrase. It signals priority. It signals reliability. In busy workplaces with tight deadlines, that clarity is gold. It removes ambiguity. Your colleagues, your boss, they know when to expect it. They can plan their own work around that. It helps manage deadlines effectively, ensures accountability. It's a small phrase with a big impact on workflow and predictability.
It's exactly that removal of ambiguity is key. Helps everyone stay coordinated. Okay, now we circle back. Back to our initial Frankenstein moment for phrase number 5. Pick your brains. Yeah. Let's clear this one up tentatively. No actual brain picking involved, thankfully. It simply means you want to ask for advice, for input, for insights from someone who knows more about a topic than you do, someone with experience, expertise. It's actually a really respectful way to tap into their knowledge. You're acknowledging they have valuable insights. So if you're new somewhere, you might say to a long-timer, hey, since you've been here 5 years, could I pick your brain sometime of the company culture? You're asking for their perspective, their wisdom, or maybe before a big meeting. Could we grab 15 minutes? I'd love to pick your brains about your thoughts for the next quarter's strategy. It shows you value their opinion. You're seeking informed insight, not just chit-chat. It's a compliment, really.
Absolutely. And if we connect this to the bigger picture of how organizations learn and grow, this phrase really highlights the value placed on experience, on mentorship, on that internal knowledge base. When you ask to pick someone's brains, you're showing deference, yes, but also a genuine desire to learn from them. You're acknowledging their expertise. In a good company culture, this fosters knowledge sharing, helps newer people get up to speed faster. It's crucial for development, both for the individual asking and for the organization as a whole. It keeps that valuable, often unwritten knowledge circulating.
Yeah, seeing it as a compliment totally reframes it. Okay, and speaking of asking for time, that leads nicely into phrase number 6, to hop on a call. This is everywhere now, isn't it? Especially with remote and hybrid work. And yeah, it can mean an actual phone call, but let's be honest. More often than not these days, it means a video call. Zoom, Teams, Google Meet, you name it. The key thing about hopping on a call is usually the implication that it's fairly quick, maybe a bit spontaneous, not a big formally scheduled meeting with an agenda. It's for a targeted discussion. You might hear, hey, do you have a minute to hop on a call? The client just asked something unexpected. It implies immediacy, a need to talk it through quickly. Or maybe, I was going to email you about this, but it might be easier to just talk. Can we hop on a call for 10 minutes? It suggests talking is more efficient than writing it all out.
And this raises a really important point about communication efficiency. Sometimes wrestling with a complex issue over email just creates more confusion, takes way longer. A quick verbal chat can cut through that. Clarify things instantly. Make a decision. This phrase, hop on a call, facilitates that direct, real-time problem solving. It's crucial in fast-moving environments where you need quick answers, quick feedback to keep things rolling. It's about choosing the right tool for the job, communication-wise. And sometimes that tool is just talking to someone directly, even if it's through a screen.
So true. Saves so much time sometimes. Okay, phrase 7 brings another sense of speed. Shoot off an email or fire off an email. The verbs here, shoot, fire, they immediately give you that feeling of quickness, efficiency, maybe even a little bit of urgency. So it means sending an email quickly, efficiently, getting it done and out the door. And it's not just email, you could shoot off a text too. Same idea. Swift, organized communication. You might say, okay, I'm going to fire off an email with these questions before the client meeting. Shows you're being proactive, getting things sorted quickly. Or, remember, first thing in the morning, you could combine them. Shoot me an email with the details and I'll look at it first thing in the morning. See how they work together. Clear, fast, action-oriented.
What's fascinating here is that implied sense of action and organization. It's not just sending an email, it's sending it purposefully, promptly. It suggests you're on top of things, your workflow is smooth. It also helps manage expectations about response times. In business today, speed is often valued. Saying you'll shoot off an email implies you'll do it without unnecessary delay. It contributes to that culture of responsiveness.
Yeah, these little phrases carry so much unspoken meaning about efficiency and intent. Okay, number 8 is about making sure everyone's informed. Keep someone in the loop. Picture a loop, like a circle. If you're in the loop, you're connected, you know what's going on. If you're out of the loop, you're missing information. The goal is to keep the right people in. So this phrase means making sure someone is continuously updated about developments, discussions, progress. Keeping them informed. For instance, if you missed a meeting, you might say, hey, sorry I couldn't make the meeting yesterday. Could you keep me in the loop on the decisions? Maybe forward the key emails. You want to be brought back into the loop. And it's flexible with pronouns. You can say, the boss wants you to keep her in the loop on this project. That means regular updates are expected. She wants to know everything relevant. Keep him in the loop, keep him in the loop. Very useful.
And connecting this to teamwork and project management, this phrase is absolutely fundamental. It's all about transparency, shared understanding, and avoiding mistakes that happen when people don't have the information they need. When everyone who needs to know is in the loop, decisions are better, collaboration is smoother, problems get spotted earlier, it prevents silos, ensures alignment. It's crucial for making sure projects run successfully and efficiently. And that ability to specify who needs to be looped in her, him, them, the marketing team, makes it really precise. It builds that shared awareness critical for success.
Transparency and shared understanding. Couldn't agree more. The foundation of good teamwork. Okay, number 9 is a big one, very common. Brainstorm. This is all about generating new ideas, usually in a group setting. The whole point of brainstorming is to just throw ideas out there. Good ones, bad ones, crazy ones, doesn't matter at the start. You just want to get a volume of ideas down, see what sparks, what connections happen. Quantity over quality initially. So you might hear, okay, team, tomorrow morning, 10 a.m., we're going to brainstorm new marketing angles for the Q4 campaign. The aim is just generating possibilities. Or we had a session last week to brainstorm ways to improve customer onboarding. It's about collective creativity, tapping into everyone's thoughts to solve a problem or create something new.
And this raises that vital point about collective intelligence again, doesn't it? Brainstorming, done well, unlocks ideas that one person alone might never think of. It brings diverse perspectives together. A key part of it is creating that safe space. No judgment initially, just get the ideas out. That's crucial for encouraging people to share maybe half-formed thoughts or unconventional suggestions that could actually lead to a breakthrough. It challenges assumptions, opens up new avenues. It's a really powerful tool for innovation and problem solving when you harness that group energy effectively.
Definitely unlocks potential. Okay, rounding out this section, number 10 is debrief. This is about what happens after something is done. To debrief means to summarize, to discuss, to share information after an event, a project, a meeting, even a sales pitch. It's a look back, a structured reflection. So a project manager might say, okay, the project is officially wrapped. Let's schedule a meeting next week to debrief. In that meeting, you talk about what went well, what didn't, what you learned. The goal is continuous improvement. How can we do better next time based on this experience? And you can use it as a noun too. We had a really productive debrief after the conference. It refers to the meeting itself. Same function. Analyze, learn, improve.
What's really fascinating here is how critical debriefing is for learning and improvement. It's not just a chat, it's a structured process. You systematically unpack what happened, the successes, the failures, the unexpected hurdles. This prevents repeating mistakes. It helps capture best practices. It shares lessons learned across the team or even the organization. That distinction between to debrief the action and a debrief, the event, shows it's a recognized formal part of many workflows. It signals a commitment to getting better over time.
Right. Great foundation. Now that we've covered those daily interaction phrases, let's shift gears a bit in part 2. We're going to look at phrases that often describe people or workplace dynamics, sometimes more strategic stuff. And let's start with one you really, really hope isn't used about you. Phrase 11. Slacker. Oof. Nobody wants that label. A slacker is basically someone seen as lazy. someone who doesn't pull their weight, doesn't do their fair share, is a pretty harsh judgment in a work context. You might hear someone complaining, maybe discreetly, "Oh, he's such a slacker, always late with his parts, and I end up having to pick up the slack." It implies frustration, unfairness. And think about group projects, right? School or work. Seems like every group has at least one slacker who just coasts while everyone else does the work. It creates resentment, drags the whole team down. It's a really negative term.
And what's fascinating, host, is that strong negative judgment baked in. It hits on core issues. Teamwork, fairness, accountability, that unspoken agreement that everyone contributes. Having a slacker on the team can just kill morale. People feel resentful, taken advantage of. Productivity obviously suffers. It's a breach of that team contract. Understanding the weight of this term is important. It signals a serious problem in team dynamics.
Yeah, definitely a breach of contract. Now, the complete opposite, and a much nicer label to have, is phrase 12. Workhorse. This is a positive one. A workhorse is someone who works really hard, consistently, diligently. They just get stuff done. It's a huge compliment in most workplaces. You might hear, "She's a real workhorse." Always reliable, always delivering high-quality work, often goes the extra mile, or maybe advocating for someone. He really deserves that promotion. Total workhorse, invaluable to the team. It implies reliability, dedication, strong work ethic, someone you can absolutely count on. Hopefully, you listening are seen more as a workhorse than a slacker.
If we connect this to career paths, workhorse signifies those qualities that organizations really value. Reliability, dedication, strong ethic, consistency. It implies dependability as someone who follows through. These are often the people who get recognized, get more responsibility, get promoted. It builds a reputation. So it's worth thinking about, right? How are you perceived? Are you demonstrating those workhorse qualities? It can definitely influence your trajectory. It's a badge of honor.
Absolutely building that reputation. Okay, phrase 13, all hands on deck. This one has cool origins, literally from sailing ships, needing every sailor on deck for an emergency. In business, it's figurative, but the meaning's similar. It means everyone needs to pitch in, get involved, contribute to something right now, usually because it's urgent or there's a huge task that needs a collective effort, a critical moment. You hear a manager say, "Okay, team, deadline's looming. We need all hands on deck to get this proposal finished by tomorrow." It means drop what you're doing. This is the priority. You might also hear an all-hands meeting. That means everyone in the company or department has to attend. The CEO called an all-hands meeting for Thursday. Signals something important is being announced.
And this raises that interesting point about mobilizing a team, managing crises. All hands on deck is a powerful call to action. It signals urgency, signals that this requires everyone's focus. It unites the team towards one critical, immediate goal. It overrides individual priorities for the collective good. It can be really motivating, actually, fostering that sense of shared purpose, shared responsibility in tackling something big or urgent together.
Yeah. When used right, it can really rally people. Now, for something less motivating. Phrase 14, often describing a management style. Micromanage. The worst. To micromanage is when someone, usually a boss, tries to control every tiny detail of how their employees do their work. It's often incredibly frustrating for the person being managed. If you've experienced it, you know. Someone looking over your shoulder, questioning every decision, telling you exactly how to format an email, it's stifling. You might hear someone complain, "My boss tries to micromanage everything. He tells us how to do our jobs, not just what needs to be done." Or you might feel like saying, "Seriously, no one likes being micromanaged. Just trust me to do the work." It signals a real lack of trust and autonomy.
What's fascinating here, host, is just how damaging micromanagement is. To morale, yes, but also to autonomy, initiative, even productivity. It screams, "I don't trust you." It kills creativity. Why bother suggesting a better way if your boss is just going to dictate every step anyway? It leads to disengagement, higher turnover, people just checked out. It's fundamentally counterproductive. It emphasizes the need for empowerment, for trust, not control.
Total morale killer, agreed. And probably inefficient, too. Okay, number 15 is align. Remember the silent G here, align. It means being in agreement, consistent with, or supporting something else. So strategically, you might say, this project doesn't really align with our company's core goals, so we're not going forward with it. It means there's a mismatch. It doesn't fit the bigger picture. I get contacted sometimes by companies wanting me to promote things, but if their product doesn't align with my goal of teaching English effectively, I have to say, sorry, our goals don't align. It's not a fit. It can also mean partnership.
Our company aligns itself with charities that have similar goals. It means they support each other, they're on the same page, working towards a shared purpose.
And connecting that to strategy align is crucial for decision-making, for partnerships. It's about ensuring coherence. Do internal projects align with overall strategy? Do potential partners align with our values? It helps justify decisions, allocate resources effectively. It ensures efforts aren't wasted on things that don't contribute to the main objectives. And for partnerships, that alignment of values or goals is fundamental for success. Knowing when things align or don't is key.
Makes total sense. It's about strategic fit, avoiding wasted effort. Okay, phrase 16, streamline. Think the opposite of chaotic, inefficient, all over the place. To streamline means making a process, a system, an operation really effective, efficient, well-organized, cutting out unnecessary steps, making it flow smoothly. You might hear, we need to streamline this onboarding process. It's taking too long and confusing new hires. The goal is to make it simpler, faster, better. A streamlined process is logical, predictable. Everyone knows what to do, when. No wasted steps, no confusion. Think about it. Instead of random emails and documents everywhere, a streamlined system has a clear sequence that leads to lower costs, faster results, higher quality.
This raises that vital question of operational excellence, optimization. Streamlining is all about process improvement, finding the bottlenecks, cutting the waste, creating that smooth, logical flow you described. The example you gave is perfect. Instead of chaos, you get clarity, sequence, predictability. That directly impacts the bottom line, saving time, saving money, boosting productivity. It's a core concept in efficient business management, getting more done with less friction.
Making things run like a well-oiled machine. Exactly. Number 17, scalable is super important, especially for startups or anyone looking to grow significantly. Scalable describes the ability of a business or idea to grow bigger, handle more customers, increase profits without needing a proportional increase in costs or effort. It's about efficient growth. An investor might say, the current business is small, but the model is highly scalable, huge potential. My YouTube channel, for example, is scalable. I can teach millions of people with roughly the same effort it takes to teach a few thousand. A physical classroom isn't scalable in the same way. You could also say, her software idea proved scalable and brought massive profits with minimal extra cost. It means the structure allows for growth without breaking the bank or overwhelming the system.
What's fascinating here is how scalable is such a key indicator of long-term potential. It's not just about growing, it's about growing efficiently, leveraging what you have to reach more people, generate more revenue without costs spiraling. For investors, like you said, scalability is often paramount. It signals the potential for big returns. It's a really strategic concept for planning, for designing products, for making investment decisions. It's about building something that can get big effectively, the holy grail for growth.
Powerful indicator of potential, definitely. Okay, number 18 gives us a great visual. In the weeds, or lost in the weeds. Imagine getting tangled up in actual weeds, losing sight of the path. It means getting too focused on tiny, often unimportant details and losing track of the main goal, the bigger picture. It's easy to do. In a meeting, someone might say, okay, let's not get lost in the weeds discussing the font size right now. We need to decide on the overall message first. It's a way to pull the focus back up. If you're running a meeting and people start drilling down into super minor details that aren't relevant yet, you can say, all right, everyone, interesting points, but let's not get lost in the weeds. We can tackle those specifics later. Let's stick to the main agenda items for now. It keeps things moving.
And connecting this to effective meetings and strategy, this phrase is invaluable. It's a polite way to redirect, to say, hey, important maybe, but not now. Let's stay focused on the core objective. It helps prevent analysis paralysis, where you get so bogged down in detail you never make a decision. It keeps the team focused on the strategic priorities, maintains momentum. Knowing when to stay high level is crucial.
Such a diplomatic way to keep things on track. Related to that, phrase 19 is circle back. Think of drawing a circle. You start somewhere, go around, and end up back at the start. It means you plan to revisit or return to a topic or question later on. Often used in meetings when a point is raised that's valid but maybe tangential to the current discussion. So someone might say, good question about the budget impact. Can we circle back to that once we finish discussing the timeline? You're acknowledging it but parking it for later. Or if someone promised to circle back and forgot, you might gently remind them. Just wanted to circle back to my earlier question about the deadline. It's a polite nudge. We didn't resolve this. Let's return to it.
And this raises that important point about balancing input with efficiency. Circle back lets you acknowledge someone's point, validate it, without letting it derail the meeting's flow. It's diplomatic. It also gives the person who raised the point some assurance that it will be addressed, just maybe not right this second. Fosters inclusivity while maintaining structure. It ensures things don't get lost, but keeps the main discussion on track. It's a commitment to revisit.
Great tool for meeting management, for sure. And our final phrase before acronyms, number 20, is very similar. Put a pin in it. 8, again, great visual. Imagine literally sticking a pin in an idea on a notice board. You're marking it to come back to later. It means acknowledging an idea or topic is important, but you're postponing the discussion, like circle back, but maybe feels a little more like, we'll definitely put this on a future agenda. You might say, that's a really interesting idea about restructuring the team. Let's put a pin in it and dedicate time to discuss it properly next week. You're validating the idea, but scheduling it for later. It communicates. Good point, valuable, deserves proper attention, but not right now. We've noted it down. It's a clear commitment to return.
What's fascinating is how this, like circle back, validates the contribution while managing the flow. It says, your idea matters, which is important for morale and encouraging participation. It provides that psychological comfort. My idea wasn't just ignored, it's parked for later discussion, and it helps keep the current meeting focused and on agenda. It's another smart tool for structured, respectful, and efficient discussions, prevents good ideas from getting lost.
Okay, 20 phrases down. Now, as promised, let's get into those acronyms. Here's where it gets potentially confusing if you haven't seen them before. 5 really common ones you'll see in emails, reports, maybe even here sometimes. Real shortcuts. First one, imagine getting an email. Need the report by EOD Wednesday. EOD, what's that? EOD simply stands for end of day.
Yeah.
It's a deadline. People just write EOD instead of typing out end of day. You probably won't hear people say EOD much in conversation, but you will absolutely see it written down all the time. Emails, project plans, it means get it done before the close of business on that day.
Right, but here's a nuance. EOD seems simple, but in a global team, end of whose day? The senders, the recipients, the headquarters. It actually highlights the need for clarity, especially across time zones. What might be 5 p.m. for you could be 2 a.m. for your colleague. So while it's a shortcut, you often need that extra context. EOD my time or EOD PST. Otherwise, this simple acronym can actually cause confusion. It makes you think about the specifics.
That's a fantastic point. The time zone trap. Definitely need clarity there.
Yeah.
Okay, acronym number 2. OO. You've definitely seen this if you use email for work. You email someone and get an instant reply back. Sorry, I will be OO until March 10th. OOO. It just means out of office. Simple as that. For whatever reason, people often use the acronym. It tells you they're not available right now. Maybe vacation, maybe sick leave, maybe travel, but they'll be back on the date specified. Almost always seen in writing, especially those auto replies.
And what's interesting here is how OCO functions as a professional boundary. It manages expectations automatically. People know not to expect an immediate reply. It tells them who to contact if it's urgent, when the person will be back. It's essential for business continuity. It standardizes how absences are communicated, allowing everyone else to plan around it. A simple acronym that does a lot of work in managing communication flow and expectations.
Yeah, a little acronym doing heavy lifting there. Okay, number 3 is super common, heard and seen everywhere. ASAP. ASA stands for as soon as possible. You'll hear it pronounced 2 ways, letter by letter, ASAP, whereas the word ASAP, like ASAP, means now. Immediately, highest priority. You might say, can you send me those figures ASAP? Or write an email. Please review this document ASAP. Remember to capitalize it in writing. It signals extreme urgency. You need to be a bit careful with it, though.
Exactly. This raises that important question about urgency inflation. ASAP means now, critical, drop everything. If you use it for everything, it loses all meaning. People start to ignore it. It can also create unnecessary stress. So use it wisely. Only when something truly is the highest priority and needs immediate action. Using it sparingly preserves its power and shows respect for your colleague's workload. Don't be the person crying ASAP all the time.
Good advice. The ASAP overload is real. Okay, 4th acronym, FYI. You get an email that says, FYI, the client meeting moved to 2 p.m., FYI. FYI stands for your information. It's used when you're passing along a piece of information that the recipient should know, but doesn't necessarily need to act on immediately. It's a heads up. So that email just means just letting you know the meeting time changed. Mostly written, but you might hear sometimes, oh, FYI, I won't be in the office tomorrow afternoon. It's a quick, concise way to share info.
What's neat about FYI is how it enables efficient information sharing without demanding a response. It's an update, a bit of context, something relevant the person should be aware of. It helps keep people informed without cluttering their inbox with things requiring action. Very useful helpful for broadcasting updates or background info to a group. Efficient, low-pressure communication, the silent workhorse, as you said before.
Exactly. Inform without obligate. Perfect. And our final acronym, number 5, is a fun one, TGIF. TGIF stands for Thank God It's Friday, or sometimes, maybe a bit more inclusively, thank goodness it's Friday. It's that universal feeling of relief and happiness at the end of the work week. Yay, weekend. You'll definitely see this in company chat channels, maybe with a happy emoji or GIF. TGIF, everyone. It just expresses that shared relief, that anticipation for the weekend. Less common to say it out loud formally, but you might hear it informally among colleagues. TGIF. Have a good weekend. Very common to write, though.
And if we connect this to workplace culture, TGIF is more than just letters. It taps into that shared rhythm of the work week, the value we place on downtime, on work-life balance. It's a collective sigh of relief. It's informal, yes, but it builds camaraderie. A little shared moment of lightheartedness can actually boost morale, make the workplace feel a bit more human. It acknowledges that cycle of work and rest we all experience, a weekly mini celebration.
Well, there you have it. 20 essential phrases, 5 key acronyms. You've just equipped yourself with some really powerful tools. So what does all this mean for you? It means you're better prepared to understand and be understood in the often fast-paced world of business English. These aren't just vocabulary lists. They're keys to navigating relationships, managing expectations, participating effectively. Really crucial stuff.
Absolutely. And it connects to that goal of learning effectively, right? Getting the nuances, not just the basics. This whole discussion host really raises that important question about the subtle power of language. Mastering these isn't just about grammar. It's about confidence, understanding culture, influencing outcomes. These phrases are like little windows into workplace values, communication styles, the unwritten rules. Grasping them gives you more than just language skills. It gives you deeper cultural insight, helps you navigate more effectively.
Such a critical point. Cultural fluency alongside linguistic fluency. So for you, listening, as you think about all this, what really jumps out? How did these phrases shape not just what's said, but the feeling of working in these environments? And how might understanding and using these nuances consciously, how might that not just improve your communication day to day, but maybe subtly boost your relationships, your perceived competence, even your career path? Think about how these shortcuts actually build connection, build trust, make things run more smoothly, something to mull over.